I have a very tiny finish, and our fundraiser for the Virginia Quilt Museum starts today. Hi, my friend, I'm Pat Sloan. So let's just look at the little bitty finish. Let me just move that light. There we go. It's a little glary, a little glary. So here we go. Many of you love the dark blue border, and I decided that it was a little too dark for me. I wanted more lightness, and so I went with this particular one, which was a Sherry McConnell Chelsea fabric. Yeah. And then here is the card. The set comes with 4 cards, so each pattern set comes with 4 cards, and the description box below is a link to this pattern by Lori Holt and the Fat Quarter Shop. Okay, so we are first, before we go to the fundraiser and get going on Silver Lake for the Virginia Quilt Museum, so excited that I want to show you about the snail block from last week and our scrappy quilt along with Wendy's book. So each week I will be doing something from the block from Wendy's book, and showing you it's a repeat block for the Virginia Quilt Museum. So let's look at a few things about building the snail block, and then I'll show it to you. Here's what's up on the wall. I talked about this on my article at Substack on Sunday evening, so if you missed seeing that, link is in the description box below. So I need to press for the block because I didn't have it last week, plus I'm going to make the 3rd flower. There are also some checkerboard units in the layout, and Wendy's layout will be, if it's not out already, it will be out soon. So I've got the iron heated up. We're going to get rid of these wrinkles. Yes, we are. And over here, let's see, that is what the full quilt looks like. It's folded over on the rack, but that is what the full quilt looks like. If you're going to do a bunch of them, bunch of snail houses, so darling. You could do just a banner, you could do a table runner, you could do a pillow. So cute. With this print, it's quite, has some quite large pieces. And so for the roof of the house, because this is the house part, I want to be sure that I have one of these larger images for the roof. So that's what I'm doing here. And I won't be able to just come right out to the edge. I will have to have a little bit of waste out here, but not that much. And I could maybe try to squeeze it in from down there if you're trying to be very frugal, but I've also got the selvage down there. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it here because I have a whole fat quarter to work with. Also, my biggest tip is just cut what you need. You don't need to be cutting like large strips, like for the large piece. Don't just cut a big swatch. I cut just what I needed, and then actually the little piece that was above it, I got one of these strips out of, and then those strips I cut from the edge all the way up until I needed more and cut here, so that I don't do the whole length and then I have waste. I don't want to have waste. I want to keep everything together so that maybe I'll have a unit that'll come like this for some sort of project. I don't want to waste it. So there are the parts for the roof. Before I sew, I have everything laid out on the biggest design boards, and then there were some cutaways, some little pieces that I kept to do the flower. This I'm not going to mix in. I'm going to go ahead and use this lower volume, like really muted little bitty thing for the flower, because those flowers, take a look again, they have small pieces and I don't want them to blend in to the background, so I'll use that little print. Ta-da! And I did go, like I said, with the little bit bigger print, and realizing that there's only that one that's really quite large, but I think it turned out super cute. This week we go on to the cactus block. Ta-da! So first let me just show you in the book, and just come down here. So here is the book, page 35, and here Wendy's diagram shows you what one block looks like. And for the kitties, you just do one block. Look at the diagram if you're doing the other version without kitties. I think you might do 2 of these, but check the pattern. And so you've got units that I'm going to show you on this one here. Let me just describe where the units are, but I'm only needing to have one. So, that's why the snail block, it might be more work, but not every week is as much as the snail block. So you have units, and this is broken off in the pattern too to show you construction, but these are 4 units that are identical. Now you don't have to make the fabric placement identical, but these are, and then they're rotated, rotated, rotated. Then you have this strip with sew and flips, and there's 4 of those to make the star points. And then that's it. These are all sew and flips here and here. So it's basically like this strip, you need 1, 2, 3, 4 to make the block. And then 4 of them in the other color to make the block. So that's how you take a look at this one. Let me show you the whole quilt in the book because it is stunning. Just a stunning quilt. Oh my goodness. Look at that. I love it. And it's very scrappy because of course that's what this book is all about. I'm more controlled here using a fabric collection because that's kind of how I like to work. But these quilts in the book are all done with a lot of different fabrics, and look how effective that is. It is absolutely spectacular. I took the other camera up on the design wall, so I want to show you that, and then we come back. We'll go into the Virginia Quilt Museum project. I did put up a few of the different blocks. So here are the 4 snails, and they look great together. Here is mine, and that one background is really, has the bigger flowers. I think the rest of the backgrounds are not quite that obvious. They're going to blend in nicely. And for this week, I used that same background. And then I had just a few of the other ones up there, which we'll do in these coming weeks. Plus, I'm decorating. I put over top of the Valentine, so that's not very effective, is it? Can't see things too well, but I will have to move those off of there so I can just enjoy that for a little bit. For the Virginia Quilt Museum fundraiser this year, Wendy and I, with the museum, decided we wanted to do a very simple block so that more people could participate and that it would be less taxing. Things that you could do, you could make a smaller version of this, and this is the actual quilt in the museum, and I have a link in the description box to this actual write-up, and there's some other close-ups of the quilt. It was donated in 1997 along with a whole group of quilts from the Spitzer family, and this one has the makings and the history of it being done by a bunch of the different sisters and other relatives. So there were quite a few people who put their hand on this one, including the mother of the daughter that donated all this group of quilts. And so it is called a Greek key. That is the description of the name of the pattern done for the museum's website. So let me show you a little bit of things here. Wendy did her pattern with solid colors, so you get to see it in kind of a scrappy version versus the pastel like the original one. And I am doing it in the museum's blue mill fabric that I helped both the museum and Benartex. We worked together as a team to develop the blue mill fabric for the Virginia Quilt Museum, which is also, they're getting all of the royalties from the sales of those. So let me show you the block, and this is the blue mill fabrics, and what I picked was this medium blue for the kind of light to medium blue for the background. So my whole quilt will be on that versus on a dark background. So it's half square triangles and rectangles and a square, and so it is very fun and very simple, and a thing that you can do quite a few of and accomplish and feel good about helping support a museum that is entirely devoted to quilts, which there are very few of in the whole world. So here we go. Let me show you a few of these done. Well, I'll show you this whole row. So this is a whole row. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you're making this size quilt. And if you're going to do it scrappy, you can kind of pull for each block. You can keep them 2 fabrics per block like mine are, or you could do it even more scrappy. You could do these corners as a different fabric. You won't get that effect. Do you see how it's like a box effect? And that is because this is just 2 fabrics. So here are the blue mill fabrics. Look at this one. It is inspired by another quilt in the collection. yeah, that is like a quilt pattern from the collection, a quilt from the collection, a stripe, another little moon for this fabric. And you can buy this fabric at your favorite quilt shop. The Fat Quarter Shop carries it. And if your favorite quilt shop doesn't have it, you can ask them to contact Benartex and bring the fabric in for you so that you can get it. And we did a very sort of traditional look for the museum. Here's another inspired by another quilt in the collection at the museum. Yeah, look. So pretty, right? And they have such a different, look at this one that's light, and then the medium. And then there was a dark one, right? I know it went by. Here it is. And then here's a dark one. See how but this is so effective to create that box. And then you get this image sort of popping out. Here it also pops. See, this box sort of recedes to the background visually. So, okay. So there you go. It is a way to support our quilt making for the future, and in the 250th anniversary of the United States, I think that is such a wonderful thing to do, is to be sewing along on blocks that support a Virginia a quilt museum, which happens to be the one in Virginia. Yay! Okay, so I can't wait to see when you are sharing these. Please say that you watched my video. Anything that you're sharing that we kind of talk about here, if you could just say, Pat said on her video, that will be helpful to me, like, so much, because people forget to watch or they somehow don't know about it. So that will be super great if you can do that. And before we wrap up, I want to show you the Cupid box. I also wore my Love in Every Stitch t-shirt, sweatshirt. There's other things that it comes on. But if you never picked one of these up, be ready for the month of love in February. Okay, let me open the box here with the camera pointing down. Starts out with quilting is my love language. So true. This makes a great box to store things in. You get a coupon on the back, which is super awesome for a Olfa rotary cutter. And then you get the little guide, which I never look at first, only if I need to. Oh, how fun is this? A pink roller. And this is great for all different things, whether you're just pressing blocks next to your machine or whether you're doing things with paper piecing. These rollers are awesome with the pink handle. Pink for February. And what else we got? Look at this. Heart pins. There we go. Look at that. They are so sweet. And fabric, of course. Oh, before we get to the fabric, what do we have in here? Oh, look how pretty that is. The ruler with the little flowers. Oh, such cuteness. Such cuteness. Okay, the fabric also has an exclusive pattern, which is, oh, it's a table runner. Look at that. Well, I'm off center here. Sorry about that. Look at this. Full hearts. X and O. X and O is my favorite thing in the world. Okay, let me open this. Hold 1 second. Here it is unpacked. Look how beautiful this is. And okay, this is so stinking cute. And a sewing machine, and it's got, like, the first thing I thought was a rotary cutter. Oh my goodness. There's hearts on here, there's hearts on everything. I love it. So I don't know. I think I need to make this. I do. I need to make everything. Make all the things. Make all the things. So here you go. Such gorgeousness. There are Cupid box still, so you want to get on out there and get one. Get your Cupid box, and then this week you're making for the Scrappy Quilt Along, and then also continuing on with your snail blocks, because they're, for most people, you're going to need more than a week, because most of you aren't sewing, as much as maybe you want to. But if you have all your snail blocks done, please show those and show this, or just show the fabric if you're getting started. And we're kicking off the Virginia Quilt Museum Silver Lake, and you can do these blocks while you're sewing other things. They are so, so easy. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.